Welcome to All Cards on the Table. I'm Yas.
And I'm Rena, and we're laying all cards on the table, physically
and hypothetically.
Join us weekly as we talk all things business and booze while we use Tequila Tuesday as our excuse to drink. Hi guys, welcome to All Cards on the Table. I'm Yas.
And I'm Rena.
But yeah, you should probably know by now that is not us. So I'm Rena by the accent. Guys, we've already had a drink. If you can't already tell. Anyway, okay, so mini episode, Tequila Tuesday. We are talking today all things hostel horror stories.
Yeah, this is our favourite subject. I mean, we back quite... yeah, we bet, yeah. We obviously backpacked quite a lot through COVID, as we've already talked about before. We've stayed in tons of party hostels, backpacker hostels, all through Europe and Mexico together. We've done a lot of travelling together. We've experienced some weird shit.
Yep.
And we want to tell you about it.
Yeah, so we're going to be telling you our recommendations, obviously horror stories, some stories of our own, and also of other people as well.
Yeah, it's people we met and other people that have told us stories along the way.
Yeah, so you'll get to know the places as well, because obviously these are great recommendations. Summer's coming, you're going to want to travel. Hostels are the place to be. We've said it before.
Yes.
So let's get
100%.
right into it. I'm so excited. So first topic, I would describe me and you in the best way possible as a platonic lesbian couple. I said this earlier. I said this earlier, and we basically are. There's nothing that differentiates us from a couple.
Yeah.
There is not.
True.
There's nothing that we don't do that a couple doesn't do. So we are obviously a platonic lesbian couple, and in a hostel we always book 2 beds. There has not been one time that we've booked a hostel and we've stayed in our own beds.
Oh, we'll intend to. It actually pisses us off because obviously when you stay in a hostel, even if you are travelling in a couple,
yeah,
you have to book 2 beds. I feel like it should 100%. If we had our own hostel, we would offer beds where you can, I don't know, even have a double bed and a bunk bed in a room. Well, I know there is some like double beds in rooms, but I think you should, if you're in a couple, be able to book 1 bed, and you don't need to book 2 single beds and a bunk bed because... Well, I mean, like we say,
we always stay
share the same bed.
in the same bed. Especially if you're going to hostel and you're going to party, you are not getting in your own bed. And especially because most of the time I'm on the bottom bunk and you're on the top bunk. Yasmin drunk is not crawling into that top bunk.
No,
you are
not know how short my legs are. It's hard. It's hard to get up these bunk beds. But anyway, so whoever's got the bottom bunk, we usually
designated bunk, and the other bunk is used for.
We actually talk about it. We're like, oh, should we sleep in our own beds tonight? And we're like, yeah. And then we end up getting back after a night out. Yeah. And we just, you walk into the room and you don't want to just stop talking because you're just like, you're just saying something funny. And obviously you've got to be quiet when you get into the room.
Good point.
And we're just like still telling a story, still talking about something. So we'll just be like sit in each other's beds and carry on the story. And then we're just like, sleep here.
Which leads us perfectly into our first hostel horror story. So this happened in Mexico, in Tulum. Straw Hat Party Hostel is the place to be. Yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend actually staying there and sleeping there, but I would recommend going there every night to party. If you want sleep, do not stay in that hostel. Every night we did party, but there was one night I think we had an early night, and I remember I went to the bathroom and there was just like drunk people in the bathroom, and I was like, not for me.
I mean, you can hear them. I mean, if you're a light sleeper, then no, but I mean, I can sleep through music in the room, but I don't know. It depends what you can.
Okay, so I'm going to set the scene. We were in Straw Hat Hostel in Tulum. We were partying upstairs. And we end up calling a night pretty early because the day after we were visiting the Chichen Itza. We call it itchy chicken. I don't know why. Yeah, we were calling it itchy chicken whilst we're there. I think other people do as well. But it was like a group tour, 9 a.m. start. We were like, fuck, let's get to bed. We have an early start tomorrow. So we get to bed and we were obviously drunk. We were like, it just wasn't working going to sleep. We broke our first rule. Yaz crawled into my top bunk and we're bouncing around filming videos saying Yas was actually preparing the top bunk, and while she was preparing the top bunk she was going, I'm getting the bunk ready for my girlfriend, she's having a sleep with me. You were like making the bed in there ready for me to get in. And she's going, I'm gonna sleep with my girlfriend here tonight. As she's shouting all of this, we just hear a noise down below go, can you shut the fuck up? And he starts going, women are so annoying. Like in the most like American accent.
He had some beef. I guess he was travelling because he's gone through a breakup or something. I don't know.
And then Yas, out of nowhere, she feels rage. Honestly, like rage comes over her. The biggest feminist comes out, and she goes down off the bunk, gets into his bunk and starts beefing him, just like for the whole room to listen. The woman from the other bunk is like, can you guys please be quiet?
To be fair, bearing in mind this man already stole our shampoo and conditioner and our hair bubbles because he had long hair.
But Yas just starts beefing this guy, and everyone in the room's like having a go at them, shouting at them, and I'm just like sat on the top bunk. I was like ready for bed. I was like, she's prepared this bed for me. She's just gone down and she's beefing this guy. But yeah, that's our point. There should be single bunks because the two people, one bunk. I mean,
it also reminds me of that time also in Mexico when we came into the bedroom late. For some reason, this was the first night in the hostel and I had no idea which my bed was. It was like blacked out. And I just climbed up this bunk bed and there was a man sleeping in there and I just grabbed him and I have no idea why I did this. I didn't even know that I did this until the next day. I woke up and you told me last night you literally grabbed this man in his bed and I was traumatized to see him the next day.
Yeah, so this was Cancun. So we actually first went to Cancun when we went to Mexico. The first trip, it was Mayan Monkey Hostel.
Yeah.
This hostel, I can't lie, I don't recommend it because it's very big. Usually, like the bigger hostels, you find that everyone doesn't click as easy because everyone's like a bit separate. So I actually wouldn't recommend. But
yeah,
there
was a big bar. There was a swimming pool, a big bar. But
just
yeah,
didn't really make friends
unless you kind of speak to people before they're drunk. Then
yeah, it was a bit hard.
I feel like
to kind
it's
of
always
make friends.
awkward in a hostel, like approaching people when everyone's already drunk.
Yeah. So I mean, in our room, the guy that you harassed, well, he said that you assaulted him the day after he said you assaulted him. I'm surprised he actually didn't call reception. He
literally went to us. He was like, "Hey, you girls go crazy at nighttime, huh?"
This guy, right, imagine you're sleeping in a hostel. Okay, maybe it's like your first time. We didn't know if it was his first time. Someone opens your curtain and sticks their hand in. He almost went into bloody cardiac arrest. Like this poor guy, but he was so lovely. I think he quite liked us. If he hated us, like he took it very easily, but he was like, what the fuck? And yeah, he
thought we were funny anyway.
I don't know why he did that because the bed was literally on the other side as well. So,
it's
Cancun,
just it's
when
an
in Cancun,
one. Like, yeah, I mean, coming into your bed in general in a hostel at night time when you're pissed, it's like, to be fair, I think that's why I just prefer party hostels because you just get away with anything. Like, no one's gonna complain. Like,
exactly,
they pretty much say in a policy like, don't moan if you're not okay with this because I just cannot just make myself silent when I walk in the room. And the same in the morning. I feel like you're the worst with alarm clocks going off in hostels.
Oh my God. Yeah, the worst. So in a hostel, there's kind of some unspoken rules and there's some spoken rules about hostels. One of them is do not blare your alarm at 6 a.m. in the morning. If I'm honest, I don't do it because sometimes I do. But most of the time, we don't have a strict wake up time. So I don't really do it in hostels. When it's alone, different story. I know I'm really bad with alarms, but
I was going to say, if we need to leave for a flight, I will be the alarm clock for you.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. Okay. Hostel horror story. Number 2. Let's move on to one of my personal favourites. We're going to the other side of the world for this one. Krakow, Poland. Yeah. Our favourite place. I'm not going to lie. We've been to Krakow maybe like 4 times. Yeah. How many sites have we seen there?
I don't know why. We just literally go there to party.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the best. It's literally the best. We started going there. The reason why I went to Krakow the first time was because we were living in the Ukraine and it was a half an hour flight, wasn't it? It was the closest place that we could go to that was fully open.
It was still just like COVID restrictions, so we had to look at where we could go to. Mm-hmm. So we went there for Halloween, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So went there for Halloween. the crowd there at the time, you have to understand it was COVID, so everyone was living there. It wasn't, people weren't really coming there to party and to kind of stay. It was people that were living there and working there as well. So basically it was a massive incest pool.
Literally.
It was a massive incest pool. And we were joining that. So we actually knew what we were going into with this.
As well, it was fully like everyone had COVID. There was COVID just riddled through the hostel. It was just a massive house party. Everyone there was just volunteers. Like, they'd just get pissed while they were working on reception, and it would just be literally no bars or clubs were open. It was just us and the hostel
and the karaoke bar downstairs.
Which I don't even know if that should have been open at the time. But
absolutely not.
It was a wild one.
It was great. Yeah, definitely not the safest thing, but it was great. So this was night one. It wasn't Halloween just yet. God, there's another story for Halloween, but we'll get into that. So this was night one. We were getting to know everyone. We were sat around the table and we were talking funny stories. There was this guy and he turns around to us and goes, "Oh my God, last week I had sex with a girl whilst her boyfriend was watching in a hostel dorm with other people in there." So that was, and we were like, "Oh, like, was he angry? Like, why did you do that?" And he was like, "Oh, that was just their kink. It was their thing. That's what they do." And we were like, "Okay, interesting." Anyway, the day afterwards, we meet a couple. Like, by the way, this girl is gorgeous. This guy is punching to fuck. Honestly, this girl is gorgeous. I got on really well with the girl, and the guy was actually from Leeds. So I was getting on with the guy as well, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And it felt really weird. I was like, this is kind of a weird vibe. And then we said to the guy, we were like, "Oh, wait, well," things just started clicking in our head, and we were like, "Yeah, fuck, this is the couple. This is the couple." We thought
I'm pretty sure he like asked me if I wanted a drink. We were just having a conversation. He was like, "Do you want a drink?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And then he just said something. He was like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend over there." And I was like, what?
Yeah, because he was flirting.
I was like, what is this? I mean, open relationships, all for it. Just couldn't do it myself.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, it was just the story wasn't clicking. Like, I think it was because it was in a hostel. He was sleeping with a girl, and then the boyfriend was just watching. No jealousy, no nothing. So they'd done it before. Like, surely that's not your first time if it's so casual. But you do you. That was that's a horror story anyway in itself.
Yeah.
Which moves us swiftly onto the fight that almost broke up our friendship relationship. So also Krakow. Can't lie. Maybe not. It's some of the same characters that are in this story. I don't know. It's up to you guys to conclude on that. But we slept with the same person. and when people when we tell people this, or when people ask, they're always like, "Oh, who went first?" Not me. And I hate, it's funny to look back on, and the story of it, I think, is even worse. So this was actual Halloween night.
This was Halloween night.
It was. We were dressed up, so I think it makes it better that we were. What were you dressed up as? A bat.
Probably a bat.
A vampire
I feel
bat.
a bat. Who knows? That no shops were open.
No, we went to Claire's. We went to Claire's to go buy Halloween costumes. I was dressed up. I was a fortune teller that night.
I had to wear that bin bag for ages as well.
Oh God, yeah. Yas had to wear a bin bag. Yeah. That's a different story for a different day. But she had a bin bag on. We were downstairs playing drinking games, karaoke bar. Randomly, Yas loses a phone. She loses a phone, and she had already been with this guy. And I knew that. I full well knew that. And she loses her phone, and she says, please, can you help me find my phone? Like, drunk Yas, like, stumbling over the place. Then she gets into bed and just goes to sleep. She's lost her phone, but she goes to sleep. The guy walks in the room while she's asleep, and I'm also in the room, and he says to me, he's like, "Oh, what's wrong with her?" I say, "She's lost her phone." He's like, "Look, let's go find it then." And I'm like, "Yeah, like, let's go be like good friends and go find her phone." We end up going up to this room together, trying to find her phone. Well, we actually don't even look for the phone. I can't lie. I'm really sorry.
You definitely didn't.
Yeah, we didn't look for the phone. And then we just we engage in engaged together.
Coitus.
And then we come back, in coitus, and then we go back downstairs and act like nothing happened. Then the day afterwards, we had the biggest argument that we've ever had, but we came back stronger.
I was going, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, we had all of our shit
we lived
that
in
we
Ukraine
owned
at
in
this
Ukraine.
point. Yeah,
Let's
where are we
go
going to?
back to our first trip in Portugal.
Okay.
Rena loses her laptop.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
we were
okay.
both freelancing. We were graphic designers. Our whole life is
Income.
on our laptops.
Yeah.
Right? We're staying in a hostel. And I'm pretty sure this is one of your first times ever staying in a hostel.
This is my first ever right. This is a true horror story because this is my first ever hostel
This is probably the worst
experience.
that's ever happened. We should have led with this.
Yeah.
Anyway, at the time, hostels were just like anyone staying in them. I mean, general rule of a hostel is that it's like 18 to 30 something are allowed to stay in them. But because it was COVID and there were so many people that had like got stranded in countries and couldn't go back to home and whatnot, there was just like anyone could stay in the hostels. There was this older man in our room, and I don't know why they just put the two of us and this man in a room. For some reason, okay, this is a lesson to everyone.
Yeah.
No matter how much you trust a hostel or the people staying in it, please lock your shit in the locker.
Preach.
Have
Learn
a
from
padlock
this.
with you. Lock your stuff somewhere.
If you're going travelling this summer, go buy a padlock right now. I'm literally not even joking. Go on eBay. It's £2. Go buy one right now.
So we were just pissed. We just went and put our stuff up in the room and we were like, fuck it. We'll just leave our laptops out, go back down. We'll just carry on getting on it.
I did put it under the pillow. And you had an iPad also. I think it's just because I was wafted. We were working downstairs. We had our laptops out downstairs. So we weren't shy about kind of showing.
Yeah. Anyway, we left them in the room. Next day, that night, we come back into the room.
We were getting
and
drunk that night. No, the worst part is, so we met around a dozen German guys. That was our company in the hostel at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously the German guys, they know how to play the drinking games. We were getting drunk. We went to an illegal shop to buy some alcohol. We were having a good time. We ordered McDonald's. Actually, first we order pizza and we order it to Lagos.
Yes.
We ordered pizza to Lagos.
Pizza to the wrong city.
Anyway, then we order a McDonald's. And McDonald's gets there fine. We're still on a good vibe. Head upstairs back to the room, ready to go to sleep. Fuck, my laptop's not there. The guys took it.
He literally removed all his stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
His
He
bag
left.
was gone.
He was gone.
Everything he owned was out of that room.
Yeah. The worst part is, I think, as bad as it sounds, you just got to trick yourself and go into the mindset of he probably needed it more. He was probably don't laugh. He probably did, honestly. But that's what I had to say to myself to stop myself crying. Do I actually think that? No, I want my fucking laptop back. I just bought it. But like, you've kind of got to just think shit happens. And honestly, it makes me so much more blasé and carefree about life, which is kind of good. But then you've also got to like, if bad stuff happens, can't do anything about it that night. I think I probably cried myself to sleep. Woke up in the morning, went to the beach. And just bought a new laptop.
We kept it moving. And I think that's the thing with travelling, like, things go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You lose shit, things get stolen. You've just got to keep it moving. You cannot, even like flights getting cancelled and things like that, you've just got to keep going. You don't just be like, I'm facing a problem, let's just fly home. Yeah. You just got to keep going.
And if you go travelling, I would always say, go solo or go with someone that you know is similar mindset-wise to you. Because if if it was that situation, imagine if I was like, fuck it, I want to go home, like I'm so upset. Yeah. You've got to think about other people, and genuinely, if you have the means to keep going, you've got to be in the same mindset. Because if I was like, fuck it, I'm going home, that would have cut our whole trip short. That would have been shit. Like, you've got to be on the same level as someone, and if you know that you've not got anyone on the same level, go by yourself. You'll find people. Yeah. I can guarantee. I've been pushing myself to do solo trips this year. It's been terrifying. Every time I get to the airport, I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen on this trip, but I'm so excited to see what it is.
You just got to deal with it. Keep it moving. Deal with problems. And I mean, you have no idea what's going to happen, where you're going to go, who you're going to meet, what the fuck you're going to do. But it happens.
It's the best.
It pans out. And
hostel life. That's how it is. Okay. So let's keep it in Portugal, but let's go to Lagos. Okay. I actually don't remember the name of this hostel. It was okay. It wasn't the best hostel. I think we just stayed there because it was COVID. But it was pretty good actually. So the topic of girls only dorms.
Oh.
Okay. If you're a girl and you're going solo traveling, if you don't feel comfortable in a mixed dorm, go for a girls only dorm. If you kind of want to go, if you want to do budget traveling, don't want to really meet people and you're not really keen, I'd say just like, fuck it, go in a girls dorm. But if you're keen, you want to meet people, you want to have a good time, go in a mixed dorm.
I feel like guys are way more inviting just in general, just as in like, they see you on your own and they're like, I'm like, downstairs drinking with these people, do you want to come join? Or we're going out to a bar, do you want to come and join us? Whereas I feel like, I think a lot of the time, I mean, obviously...
Girls are cliquey.
Yeah.
Girls are more emotional, have more insecurities. Like, if I'm honest, I wouldn't go to make conversation.
I feel like girls are way more... Like, we need to be in the mood to socialise. So if I'm 100%. Like, been out all day, I'm tired, I've like hungover from the night before, I can't be asked to speak to anyone. When you're in the room, that's like your alone time. Like, even the two of us, when we're together travelling, we'll just sit in the room in silence for a bit and just like go on our phones and stuff. And I feel like that is what girls do in the room. Whereas I think, men, they'll come in, have a nap and whatever, get themselves ready for the night. But when there's like girls in the room or other guys, they're just way more inviting to like speak to you. And it's not a scary thing. I feel like when I did first start backpacking, I was like, oh no, I need to stay in like female only dorms. Like, I don't know what kind of guys are going to be there. There might be like older creepy men and stuff, but literally it's not. I've never experienced that.
I think especially if you're going during a busy time, during summer, it's not going to be like that. It's very much like-minded people. When I went to Berlin recently, we went out really hard on the first night. I was really lucky. Like, I made friends. I made a friend in the airport, which is I've never done before. So once I got to the hostel, we literally went out, and I woke up the next morning, and I can't lie, I pretty much slept the whole day. There was 2 girls in my dorm, and obviously a big no-no, do not do phone calls in the dorm. Like, I do not want to hear your personal life. They were on the phone to the family and stuff, and I was just like respectfully, shut the fuck up. They were like, oh, we went to Berlin Wall today, like proper like you know, British girls. So there was this, like, I had my curtain closed, I was sleeping, I looked a mess, I was so rough from the night before still, and so tired. In walks this guy, and I just hear like, g'day, like an Australian accent. I'm like, yes. I literally like, I rise. And I'm like, yeah. I open my curtain, I'm like, hey. And he's like, oh, hi. Like, I just got here. And he was like traveling a bit, and we started a conversation just straight away. It was so much easier for me. Whereas with the girls, it was like they were on the phone.
There's so much small talk with girls. It's just like, where are you from? How long are you traveling? Are you traveling on your own? Where are you going?
Yeah, he just said to me, he was like, I've not had food. Have you had food? No. Let's go downstairs, have a drink. Yeah. What did we do? We stayed out the next night. I missed my flight. It was a vibe. Yeah, next time I go to Australia, he's there.
I mean, you will like experience some funny stuff, like when there's like, it's not everyone in the room's going to be great. Like, there are some big characters traveling. You meet these people and they're like the exact like cliche of what you'd imagine them to be, like a American Texas kind of like vibe, or they're just this like cartoon character type of person. I met this Brazilian guy when I was in Lisbon the first time before I went with you, and I'm pretty sure it was like Mardi Gras Day. He was like celebrating because he couldn't celebrate at home, and he was just going crazy. He went to this like house party in Lisbon. I think he did some ecstasy or something. He came back and he was like pissing on the floor in the room. He was like jumping in everyone's beds, and like for me, I just think it's hilarious. Like, the weirdest stuff, like the more weird stuff that happens, the better the trip. Like, just everything's so funny for the plot.
Also depends if it's your first experience. Like, imagine seeing that for your first time. You'd be a bit traumatized, but that's why you've got to see it through. Do a few hostels. Obviously, first hostel, I saw it through. I got my laptop stolen in the first hostel that I stayed in. I saw it through. It was great. But yeah, girls only dorms, I would say book a mixed dorm. Book the biggest mixed dorm you can find. It's the biggest, it's the cheapest, it's the best.
Yeah.
Period. Okay. Now, hostels have, like, they have games, they have traditions, they have their own cool sort of quirks. Some of them do. Anyway, the ones that we've stayed in. I want to talk about some of the coolest things that they have in the hostels. So,
definitely.
We went to Straw Hat in Tulum. they had a spin wheel. So they had a bar upstairs, and the spin wheel, you would just spin the wheel randomly.
God, it's such a gamble.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
Like, what you're gonna get.
Do you know what? We were like forcing each other to do it because okay, so there was jump in the pool naked.
It was like there's
jump in the pool naked, boob shot, bum shot.
Yeah, strip on the bar and then
strip on the bar, kiss a staff member, kiss a stranger.
Honestly, yeah.
I kissed a stranger, I kissed a staff member, didn't jump in the pool naked, thank God. Other people did though. People are so game. This is what's so fun about it. People are so game and they're going to do it. And they also had some like dice as well, boob shots, bum shots, that sort of thing. One of the ones that I got strip on the bar.
Oh my God, yeah. And then so she stripped on the bar. We hadn't even had a drink at this point. I'm pretty sure we'd gone up to the bar to get our first drink. She spins the wheel. She climbs on the bar and I'm like, oh my God, she's not going to strip.
Guys, so other people that had strip on the bar, yeah, they had skirts on. They had like, they had tops that you could take off. They had bras underneath, okay? I had a tube top and I'm pretty sure these jeans, okay?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so either the top is coming off or the jeans.
She pulls the jeans down, her ass is out. The bartender is like,
he stamps my bum. They have a stamp. The hostel have a stamp that has their logo on it, and they just stamp your boobs and your bum if you're a girl.
Anyway, she had the best ass in the hostel.
Yeah.
So they had like a bit on the wall where they had like best boobs, best ass, and he just like straight away wiped off the previous name and just put her Instagram art. And you kept getting loads of followers.
Oh my God, it was really funny because I had to crawl over the bar and write my Instagram on it, and oh my God, I got so many followers. They have the best boobs and best butt on there, and DX Runner was the best butt. DX Runner was the best butt for a while on it. I got a few followers and like weird DMs from it. But I think because my Instagram was like really easy to like write on it as well. But it's a cool thing. That was one of our goals for the trip.
It reminds me of in Bratislava at Wild Elephants Hostel.
Oh, gosh.
I think it's a wheel there as well, isn't it? It's a spin the wheel.
Oh yeah.
And they've got nudie
We didn't
run.
do it though.
No, I was way too scared.
Yeah, me too.
Because most of the time they actually just move it onto something that's going to be funnier than what it lands on, and I'm like, oh yeah. So anyway, they in Bratislava. In Wild Elephants, they had a spin the wheel, and one of them is nudie run. Mm-hmm. So literally, this is like.
Can you describe that? Because nudie run does not make sense to the average ear.
So basically you'd run across. You'd go at the end of the corridor, take off your clothes, and run through the corridor of the hostel while literally everyone is staring at you, and. So the one like in Mexico, it wasn't too bad because it's in a pool, so you're literally naked running into the pool. You just run, cover your bits, cover your bits, run, jump in the pool, get out, cover your bits, and like just keep it moving. Go downstairs, get dry, and get dressed. Whereas in Bratislava, in this hostel, you're literally there. Everyone's just having a drink, like stood there looking at you, and you're naked, stark naked, just running through the hostel.
I mean, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
but the funny thing is, I got very drunk. I got ridiculously drunk in Bratislava, and I actually went behind the curtain that you do the nudie run to be sick in the crates, and everyone thought I was doing a nudie run. Apparently, because I don't remember the night.
Yeah, she was very black.
But everyone thought I was going to do a nudie run, but not on that trip.
Traveling with my friend that I met from New Zealand. She actually ended up coming to live with me in the UK, and that's another one of just the craziest things. You meet these people, they become your best friend after you've met them for like a day. Mm-hmm. Which, she ended up losing her bag. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it wasn't like her big backpack. I mean, that's pretty hard to lose. But, just like your little crossbody bag. She left it on a bus when we were going from Berlin to Prague. Was it? Wait.
You're traveling around.
Yeah. She lost it going from Berlin to Prague on a coach. She couldn't get it back. We were like calling the coach station, being like, "Where's this bus going to?" The bus was going to Austria.
Was it a Flixbus?
Yeah, it was a Flixbus, and it was literally leaving Prague and going straight onto Austria. Like, it's gone. The bag's out of the country. We met these guys. At a festival in Amsterdam like a few days before that lived in Austria, in Vienna. So we just messaged them and we're like, have you... Oh, wait, I need to backtrack. I'll cut it.
It's fine, we'll cut it.
So this bus is going from Berlin to Vienna. We didn't know this at the time. We were just like, where is this bus going to? Just like being like, oh, you've lost it. You've lost your bag. You've lost your money. You've lost your bank card, your passport, everything. God, we were in the hostel that night. And we come back from a pub crawl, and the police are there at the hostel, and they're like, God. And they obviously the reception staff knew our names. So we walk in, and he's like, "Are you Tia?" To my friend, and she's like, "Oh my God, yeah, look, what have I done? What have I done?" And he's like, "No, it's okay. Your bag's been reported to the police here that it's gone to Austria."
Did she have a passport in the bag?
I'm pretty sure her passport was in the bag.
Okay, that's scary.
Yeah, and then so we were like, oh my God, like you're stuck here. At this point, I was going back to the UK in a few days. She was supposed to be carrying on her trip. She had no money. I went and withdrawn money from the ATM for this girl that I'd literally only known her for like 2 weeks at the time.
Crazy.
And then her like sister in New Zealand had to like PayPal money over to me because obviously it takes a few days to just bank transfer. Yeah. And then we'd met these guys in Austria. We'd met these guys in
Austria, Vienna, Berlin, same place.
Yeah, so we'd met these guys in Amsterdam at a festival the week before that were from Vienna. She texted him and was like, "Can you go and pick up my bag from this like police station in Vienna?" Yeah. He went and got it for her. He drove like 2 hours to the police station, got it, put some like Austrian snacks in it and stuff, sent it over to the UK to mine, and then she ended up like just coming to the UK, and then
I bet
it was
the postage would have cost a fortune.
Yeah, bless him, and he did it just so it's just great. You just travel because you meet these people, and they literally like, as cliche as it sounds, are like the best people you've ever met. They'll do these things that you've only met them once, and they'll just literally they'll do anything to help you.
So, as you could tell, we've had our fair share of hostel horror stories. I feel like that was pretty good. We've gone from 2 people in one night, sex, losing laptops, losing passports, to even, what have we got? Nudie runs, spin the wheels, pretty much everything. Like, we've covered it off. And
yeah, I mean, we've got a lot more stories that we'll save for longer episodes when we're playing the games and stuff, but...
Okay, so we'll round this off with, so if someone is going travelling this summer, what is the top hostel and top destination that you recommend?
Wild Elephants, just because I love it. I love the city. I love Bratislava, Slovakia. I love Wild Elephants. Or second to that, I would say G-Spot Party Hostel in Lisbon.
Okay.
You had a bad experience there with your laptop, but I've been there a few times. And
I'd go back, Bygones be bygones. So I would say, if you are going to travel anywhere... do you know what? I'll be a bit different. So I went to Copenhagen. That was my first like solo travel trip for the year, and I stayed at Next House Hostel. It's basically not a hostel. If you're new to solo traveling, I recommend you stay somewhere like that, because it was like new pods. Honestly, the bathrooms in there looked impeccable, looked like a hotel. So I definitely recommend that cleanliness. It was pretty cheap. Copenhagen's a really cool place. So I definitely recommend Next House. It's pretty cheap as well. So I had a good time. It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is the end of our first mini episode, another Tequila Tuesday. So that was Hostel Horror Stories. And we are all cards on the table. I don't know if we mentioned that at the first bit.
Yeah, so...
Rena. I'm Rena and you're Yas.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun debriefing. I feel like it's been fun to take a trip on memory lane.
Definitely. So follow the podcast, leave us a rating on Spotify, head to our website www.letsdrinktothatgame.com if you want to buy our games, or on TikTok shop at Let's Drink to That Game, TikTok, Instagram, all cards on the table pod. Yeah, that's a wrap.
That's us. Okay, guys, we'll catch you next Tequila Tuesday.